Hello, I'm George Alagiah, and I just want to take up a few minutes of your time to tell you why I became patron of the Fairtrade Foundation. Now, I suppose I must have spent about 15 years of my career as a foreign correspondent, and I went all over the world, travelled all over the world, and I covered coups and famines, corruption, war, disaster. Now, by the end of my years on the road, those 15 years, I suppose I'd reached one very simple conclusion, and it was this: that economics sometimes plays as important a part in helping to solve these problems as politics does. I think it's when you have absolutely nothing in your back pocket, that's when you're tempted by the politician who would put ethnicity or tribe before nation. On the other hand, I think if you have that security, the security that says, I can pay the school bills, the security that says I can pay those hospital fees if I need to, and the security, the money that says I can have some dignity in my old age, then I think you're much more likely to be the kind of person, the kind of family that contributes to the community. And I think fair trade offers precisely that kind of economic stability. But you know, it's not just me saying this. I've heard farmers in Nicaragua and Sri Lanka, for example, tell me how much they valued being a part of the fair trade movement and how much it's done for them, their families, and quite often the communities in which they live. But there is one big problem, and it's this: that the queue of farmers around the world who would like to be a part of the fair trade scheme is a long one. But the fair trade movement's capacity at the moment to absorb all those people is actually limited. And I think that's the crucial stage that we're at now. The fair trade movement has got to be able to expand to match the need out there. This is the time, I think, to be talking about not just tinkering with fair trade, but going for some real big expansion. You could say that fair trade isn't the only solution. And you'd be right. I've certainly never claimed that fair trade has got to be the one solution. I don't think any of my colleagues have said that. But this much is true. Fair trade is already in place, and we know that it already works. There's something else about fair trade, I think, that's important. I think it offers both consumers here and people in Africa, Asia, and South America something. It crosses that bridge, that divide, if you like, in a completely new and positive and imaginative way. There's one other thing. I think fair trade has allowed big business to play its part in development in a way in which it wasn't really possible before. In fact, for a lot of the time, big business has been put out there and say, oh dear, they're part of the problem. Well, actually, they're now showing that they can be also a part of the solution. And this is really crucial. Fair trade is showing that profit and principle should go together, and they can go together. And I want to leave you now with just one thought, and it's this. I know just a little while ago I talked about how economics was so important, and it is important. But actually, one of the things I learned traveling around the world is that there are other things too that make a huge difference to people's lives, and they're simple things, but they're important things. It's about hope, it's about dignity, it's about aspiration, it's about ambition. And I think when you draw the line at the bottom of the fair trade equation, yes, it offers money, but it also offers all those other things that I mentioned. And most important of all those things, I think it really does offer genuine hope to people who deserve it. Thank you for listening to me.